Hello and welcome back to AZW. This is tag team action with the Mindcrafters, Bob and Wade, taking on the Psychodelics, Far Out Man and Luke. And we have Bob and Luke in the ring right now, the two big men of the team. And there is Wade getting involved. Oh, and a huge sidekick there just sends Luke flying the hell out of the ring. Wade stalking him. We got Far Out Man up on the turnbuckle. Ooh, and just clobbers Bob with what looked like a flying clothesline. It's kind of hard to tell on this wide shot here. Trying to pull back so you can see what's ever going. Everybody can see what's going on. And looks like, oh, this is difficult to keep track of. Oh, and there is a big power bomb on the Wade. Bob just hit Far Out Man. It looked like a bulldog there. Oh, but Wade gets a little bit of revenge there with a, push up. Just belly flopping Luke right onto the mats on the outside. Not comfortable. Oh, 19 count. That was close. And that was not particularly comfortable for either team, I don't think. Both came pretty damn close to getting counted out there. Just a last second save, literally. In the case of Luke, he was the last one of the two into the ring. Just kind of taking their time here. A little bit of taunting. Bob gets a hold of Luke. Far Out Man belly to back side suplex onto Wade. Wade the legal man, so I think he came out the worst of the way for there. And he gets flipped over. Bob managing to distract Luke there a little bit, lets Wade get a hold of him. Snap suplex, take over. And of course this match is for a ranking in tag team division. Current champs, Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, the YouTube princes. There's a drop toe hold. Wade taking Luke down. Knee into the mat. Just a good old-fashioned knee smashed right into the mat. Perhaps thinking of working over the big man's knees. He is a large individual, so using those good old-fashioned take the big man down tactics of working over the legs, of course, is always going to work. To the outside. When there is a flying shoulder tackle, takes the Far Out Man down. Wade still in his legal man. And pile driver. Far Out Man getting up, tries to get a hold of him. Does, whips to the corner, but gets reversed. Wade follows, gets a hold of him, and reverse atomic drop. And follows that up with a low blow headbutt. Working over the groin area. Goes for that twisting shoulder block that he likes to use. Way out of position on it though. Hits the enziguri. And makes the tag. And they were going for their double team finisher there. They didn't hit it. Wade got in with a drop toe hold. Maybe they were looking to do something else and Luke was able to interfere. Of course, their finisher, the double team finisher, flapjack cutter. Which they call... For my note here, the Mind Cracker. Bob uses the cutter, he calls it the Mind Cutter. does a
5,
kind of an odd move. It's, I guess you would have to call it a butt bomb. It's a full Nelson slam right down on it to his target's bottom. One of those ones that will make your entire body go slightly numb for a moment. Oh, and there is Wade on the outside with that big inverted DDT. One of the moves he likes to use is a finisher. He's picking him up now, gets hold of him. And, oh, this is his other solo finisher, big power bomb. Doesn't have any special names for his moves.
7, 8.
But he just hit both of them onto Luke.
11.
Far Out Man and Bob on the other side. Well, not clear on the other side, but over.
14.
By the way, and looks like
15.
Bob was taking some punishment there, but now he's reversed that situation. Luke, I think, just saw him get pump handle slammed onto the ground there. Manages to avoid the impact on that.
19.
And once again, both Legal Man barely getting back into the ring in time. Oh, Bob shooting in for something. Gets power slammed, but eats a low blow. And they're a bit difficult to see. Gray ring steps on gray mats. Gonna have to do something about the coloration there on those ring steps, but Luke did not just crash into thin air. He actually hit the ring steps on his side of the ring. You can see him a bit better here on the closer side of the ring there by the Acid Bath Productions .biz logo for our website. Excuse me.
1,
And back to the outside once again.
3,
Wade follows.
4,
Got Luke body slamming Bob, and there is Far Out Man with his finisher. Let's see.
8, 9,
The trip out.
10,
Trip out.
11.
Going for a Boston Crab there. Oh, flipped over. Or just a double-leg crab if you prefer, but there is Luke with that big, huge clothesline he likes to use.
16.
As a move to soften people up. Not his finisher.
18.
It is also a big clothesline, but it's a short clothesline. He calls it the bad trip.
1.
Far Out Man barely getting back in again, and we go right back to the outside. Bob, Legal Man on the outside this time.
4.
This match has spent most of the time, it's, you know, well, not most of it necessarily, but a lot of it on the outside. Bob hitting a sit-out
8.
power bomb with a pin there.
9. 10.
But gets back dropped, well, that belly to back side suplex. It's really hard to tell the difference between what is
13.
a belly to back suplex variation
14.
and just simply a backdrop,
15.
since they are effectively the exact same thing, just very slight differences.
17.
There's a fallout, or falling, a damn slam. Oh, and mass exodus back into the ring there. Or intrudus, maybe. Yeah. Right down to the wire there. Once again. Wade going. Ref's making him get back over to his corner, as is appropriate. The ref not doing a very good job of keeping things in the ring during this match, but it's really not all that unexpected. These two teams like to brawl. They would probably prefer this to be Philly rules, but unless we have a special stip for some reason, we don't just do Philly rules in any division for no particular reason other than the Savage Heart division, which is its trademark. It's part of what makes that division what it is. It's part of its style is to have the Philly rules. Everywhere else we tend to use traditional wrestling rules, although obviously the ref is very lax on calling out those low blows, which is unfortunate, but we like to see things come to a resolution here in AZW. Don't like cheap DQ finishes. Don't know about all of you, but that crap got real old back in the day. As did all the NWO gang-bang attacks and run-ins and all that nonsense. Because at the end of the day, I think what most pro wrestling fans really do like to watch is a good pro wrestling match. All the storylines, the fluff, the angles, the run-ins, the nonsense. That's good. Oh, and there is that big butt bomb. He calls the Bob's your uncle. And a pile driver there. But, you know, I'm not saying all that stuff doesn't have its place, but at the end of the day, I think most of us would just like to see a good match without a bunch of crap. Two guys or two teams or two girls, whatever, get into the ring, or 3 or 4, whatever, you know what I mean. And they have a match, and a winner is decided on who gets the 1, 2, 3, a tap out, or whatever the stip might be. So we endeavor to give you that here at AZW. No crappy count outs. Unless, you know, we give them a 20 count to get into the ring. So if they get counted out, it's because something happened to them to keep them out of the ring. So very rarely do we see a count out. Next to never, almost never see just a straight up DQ. Ooh, and big power bomb. Far out man seems to have Bob's number here. Bob needs to get out over to his corner and make a tag. Manages to roll out of the way of that diving elbow drop. Looks like he's heading for his corner. Punches, far out man. Oh. Should have ran for it to get to his corner, but doesn't. Walked right into far out man, got power bombed yet again. Atomic drop. Ouch. Looks like he was desperately reaching for a tag, but just can't get to his corner. Far out man. Oh, trip out. Trip out. And Bob is just outweighed. Wrong time to try to get the crowd on your side there, dude. You missed your opportunity. About the only thing going for you there was that Luke takes longer to get into the ring than you did, Wade, and you blew it. So that is Far Out Man and Luke, the Psychodelics, picking up a win here. Much needed win. They haven't had one a couple of appearances. The last couple of appearances, I think only one of those was actually here on the YouTube show. One of the first matches, actually, that we put up, one of the earlier ones. Corby and Fool taking on those two. And I believe, pretty sure, yeah, they lost. Corby and Fool beat them and then went on to have another match later on, I believe. Of course, setting up tag team matches. We don't have a whole lot of teams, so we try to space those out so you don't have a tag team match, and see the same thing all the damn time. But at the same time, we don't want to leave them hanging and never have them out in the ring, so we try to have a decent balance there. So that is the first match of the day. Up next, we have Frankie taking on Mr. Generic Puro number 2, a continuation of that particular rivalry. Might be some hard feelings there, since the reason why Frankie wasn't able to get an immediate rematch when he lost the Stalwart Division title was because he had just lost it to Mr. Generic Perot, number 3, I believe it was. Number 3 or 4. Lost it to him briefly, used his champion's rematch clause to get that rematch, won the title back, but then immediately lost it again. So he's had to go back down in the rankings, so now he's taking on another one of the Mr. Generic Perot group, this time number 2. And of course, if you haven't seen any of the previous matches between I will explain Mr. Generic Perot group on that match. Coming up, we have a substitution. Nakamura is currently no longer going to be appearing in AZW because he has left NJPW and is apparently going to that promotion, that company. AJ Styles, of course, is no longer going to be appearing here either for the same reason. And as developments occur, other possible E-Fed appearances by NJPW wrestlers in AZW will be subject to the same situation, because I do not support anyone who works for that company. So instead of Nakamura taking on Oh the Humanity, it will be Makabe. And then we'll have Rich Hertz taking on Buster Cherry. That's tomorrow. Then the day after, we'll have Shibata taking on George Jones, and Lance Storm and Jerry Lynn making their AZW E-Fed debuts for the YouTube show. And then, of course, Saturday we have our Jugular January show. And as has been usual, I will discuss all of that stuff a little bit more after the next match, so that you don't have to listen to a whole lot of talking after just one of them. Space it out a little bit. So I'll be talking about Jugular January, as I said, after the next match, and please remember to chokeslam that like button for me. Share the video with all your wrestling fan buddies. Subscribe so you know when AZW action comes up next. And I do other videos sometimes. And suggestions and comments. And I'll talk more about the suggestions and comments again on the next video. So once again, you don't have to sit and listen to a whole strew of talking just at the end of this one. So I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.